Welcome, beautiful people. It's Sunday reading in the month of Scorpio. What we're going to do is basically do a general read for all signs, all people at this time, just to see what's going on, what kind of spiritual guidance and advice one can bring forth for y'all. We're going to start with some little tarot. I'm going to do a reading which is like when I kind of created myself, called PLPA, Purpose, Lesson, Present and Action. So we're just looking at what's that general purpose that we should all be focused on right now, what kind of things we could all be learning, what's going on presently, and what kind of action we should be taking. So I'm going to shuffle up the decks. They've been shuffled once already. I'm just going to give them a little more shuffle, so I'm going to be quiet for a hot minute. Jeez. And we have, in the purpose lesson, the Six of Pentacles. I'm going to draw the cards, the next card. We have the Four of Wands. Followed by Knight of Swords. Ooh, and two came out for the last. Two of Wands and Seven of Cups. Sweet. I'm not sure if you can still see that 100% clearly, but this is what we've got. What I want to do is clarify them with some animal cards. So what we've got here is purpose, lesson, present, action. So looking at the present right now, it's like the Six of Pentacles. To me, you got the moon in Taurus. Like Taurus is exalted. The moon is exalted whilst in Taurus, and you can see the Pad of Pentacles is on the floor, and you got a little apple right there. This depiction to me denotes the card is known to be a present. So within the present right now, it's like you are either your own present. There's gifts that you have which you're not really utilizing or harnessing right now. But you're going to step into doing that. You're going to start harnessing these gifts. So that is the purpose, is to kind of see what is your gift. Are you your gift in a sense? What kind of talents, traits that you have. But on a more mundane level, it could be literally you're going to receive the present. You're going to receive a present. It could come in many different forms, but it's definitely materialistic because the Taurus here, and it represents the moon, your needs. So it's about your needs being satisfied, and that in a sense is like what you put in a sense is kind of coming back to you. Under the lesson, I see the Four of Wands. So you've got again Aries and Venus. So that's like a unity. It's like what you're tied to. So you got like two different elements. You got both fire and water, kind of coming together to be united in balance. Number four represents the balance itself. So having the wands there, the fire energy. So to me, it's more about once you understand what it is, there's either a situation that's going to be presented to you which you can use like as a gift, and then that will propel you forward, and that should allow you to form a balance within your energies, emotions and thoughts, what your ideals are, what you're trying to achieve, and the energy to go and do that. Or it could represent that you now have reached the point of learning how to balance your needs, balance your energies, like in order to manifest what it is that you want. So your mind is aligned, your emotions are aligned and together. But this is in the lesson position. So this is something that we're all right now are learning. How do we in action our dreams? How do we put force behind our ideals? That is something that we should all be focused on right now, uniting both our Mars and our Aries energies together. Knight of Swords, this is in present, what's going on presently. So what's going on presently is like, yeah, you should hear maybe some form of communication, but the Knight of Swords in this sense is more about mind over matter in a sense. So right now it's like we're starting to see things a bit more clearer and about to take action with some things, but it could be also communication coming towards you. But for me in this reading, you've got both the elements of fire and you've got the air. So when you put your air is representing your thoughts. When you put a little force behind those thoughts, so you put the fire underneath, so you put like basically the petrol in the car. Do you get me? Then now you've got your destination. You can reach your destination because now you have the petrol. Before you didn't have no petrol, but you had the destination. So that is the movement in the sense, and that's going on presently. Then moving on to what action should we take? We've got the Two of Wands. You got Mars in Aries, so that is definitely movement, taking the steps. You just reach the point where it's like, okay, deciding, am I going to take this route or am I going to take that route? But either way, you've took the step, you've moved from that initial thought and you've taken that step forward, and they're saying that's what needs to be maintained. And then we have underneath it the, what is this, Seven of Cups. So as you can see, Venus in Scorpio. Venus represents like what we love, and seeing Scorpio there is about transformation. So there is a lot. I think Venus right now is in Libra. So being in Libra right now, she's at home. Understanding that balance between your needs and somebody else's needs. But this Seven of Cups here is about, it's like a form of meditation, and you're thinking about, okay, what way should I go? Something has to bring you that emotional fulfillment. But having the two here, the Two of Wands, it's like you're already in that state and you're just looking to which direction you should go in. So let's clarify. Get some animal cards and see what we got. So let's get a card for purpose. One was trying to jump. Lizard. Okay, let me just show that again just in case you didn't catch it. Right, that's coming under the Pentacles, the Six of Pentacles, the present. So the lizard is a fire. It comes under the fire, so it represents a time where we need to step back. So this is in the purpose, like, so for you to fully understand your gift, you might need to step back in a sense, a bit like a hermit card, because like you're out in the public, you're out in the view of everyone. You might be too self-aware, you're highly sensitive, and that all of that can bear a toll on your it can just bear a toll on your energies. So that means that it's like this card represents taking a step back, or maybe when you receive this gift you step back, you know, and then you're able to see more. But for me, it denotes if you are seeing yourself as having something inside of you that you have to give to the world, and when upon that realization, you realize that, you know what, you've been using your energy slightly wrongly, or your energy has been taken, is being taken by different people, like so you're spending too much time focused or in tune to other people instead of focusing and tuning into your own self. So this heightened sensitivity right now is a good thing, because without the heightened sensitivity we won't be able to feel what it is that we truly want and be able to manifest it. So going through into the lesson, we have the earthworm. So yeah, this is the beginning, this whole learning about how full, you know, willpower. This is like willpower, will and power. So your will is basically your intention, your conscious, your awareness. You have an intention, and then that intention has to penetrate your power, your life force. And those are the unities. Life force coming under that feminine Venus energy, moon energy, and the intention, the male energy, will. They need to come together. So it's like the male steps to the woman and he caresses her and he's like boom, but he doesn't step to her on the right level. She's like, no, I'm not interested. That's how your energies is, male, female, will and power, not willpower. So this is like saying that it's like a beginning. This is like from you uniting this energy, you're learning how to unite this energy, and this is like on the start you on a healthy path basically. Let's go to what's going on presently. So yeah, that's the lesson. The lesson is just learning right now how to balance our different energies. There's a lot going on with all this COVID time. A lot of people having to readapt, adjust, pull back their own energies. Everything is slowed down. So within that moment, it is the best time to kind of reinvent, see down, take stock of who you really are. Here we go. We have the oyster. So that links back with the lizard in a sense of the lizard's telling you to step back. But what's going on right now is like the oyster represents that you have some sort of gift, but you're keeping that thing closed up, clammed up, locked away. That's linked to your emotions. So probably the emotions of how you see yourself. So having this ability of the Knight of Swords in the present is giving you the ability to use your mind to actually bring you out of those darker, negative emotions of self-doubt and delusion, basically, you know, like listening to other people's opinions. There's the lizard again. Come away from that. Understand who you truly are, you know, and the gifts that you have. Don't take it for granted that you have these gifts. But on the same level, the world wants to see these gifts, but there's an effort that you have to put in to manifesting these gifts. And it ain't just about, okay, getting the energy. It's about your mind frame. So it's above presently. It's like getting your mind frame right, mind over matter. So whatever it happened in your life on an external level that's hurt you, and now you've kind of put it inside you and buried it deep, and now that's made you kind of shine your light somewhere else, away from your talents and your gifts. Now you're starting to understand this. This is what it's about, understanding our doubts, ourselves, our fears. Why do we not shine bright when we have the ability to shine bright? Last card for action. What do we have? Come on, spirits. Ooh. See it there? Sea serpent. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, you can't see it on the table, so I'm going to pull it up here. So you can catch it. Right, interesting. This is probably what the Two of Wands is, this choice with your emotions. Like I said, if your power inside of you is not caressed or stimulated in the right way, or if your power inside of you to like your force, your Mars energy, if it is still, and if it's still because you've got all these negative emotions that have basically put your water, put your fire out, this is probably where you'll come to this point of like you've made a choice, you took your first step, you're a bit hesitant, and you're thinking, okay, cool, I'm making progress, but then what is it that I'm actually, the reality of what you're trying to do is kicked in. Yeah, so some people might say, you know, I'm going to step back, but what it's actually saying is to heal. There's something that draws you back into your old self, into your old patterns, into your negative patterns of emotionality, of negative emotions, of feeling, of being doubtful, which obviously comes from somewhere in your life you've been hurt or you've been felt some form of trauma. So right now we're saying this is the time for healing that emotional trauma, and able to release you so you can step forward. So the emotional trauma is creating a diversional path which you don't necessarily want to travel. And this is, in this moment, you're actually learning how to actually use your mind, your will, put that behind your Martian energy, that force. So you ain't, Martian energy can be quite selfish and quite narrow focused. It ain't thinking about everybody else's opinion, which on some levels to manifest your path, you have to be a little bit selfish. So you're using those two energies. Right now we're in the month of Scorpio. It's all about transformation. Scorpio teaches us how to go deep into ourselves and release that repression, release what we repressed for whatever reasons. It's a highly sexualized sign because it's ruled by Mars and Pluto. So there's a lot of that forceful energy in there, that sexual energy, also trauma and attachments that need to be broken. The Venus is in Libra right now also, so it's about relations, not just relationships, but relations between individuals. If you're looking to create something, then there's a give and take, 50-50 situation. There has to be a balance. That is very important right now. And if your thing's not balanced, then that's when you're kind of more likely resort back to your old self. I'm gonna draw one more card, an astrology card, to just see if we can see what energies are actually in play right now. Okay, sweet. One more card. So, wow. look at that. Need I say more? Like, you got the Scorpio transformation, which I just said we're in the month of Scorpio. It is all about transformation. Um, the reality is, I'm going to just put it here in front of everything else because I think it's like the summarizing card. Scorpio rules the house of the eighth house, which is the house of death. People are like, oh, so we're not talking about physical death in that sense. We're talking about moving from one stage to the next. To do that, you've got to give something up, and in that moment, there is a process or the feeling of death. So, like I said, Scorpio is the in meaning representing death. It's a death that's realized in Scorpio from having these deep needs. From the first water sign of Cancer, you've decided what your emotional needs were. You have emotions. You're like, oh my God, I got emotions. I got these needs. Then you get to Scorpio and it's realized that these needs have been disappointed, or people will judge you accordingly to these needs. Then you get to the last water sign of Pisces, which is has no form, no shell, which is about the expression. That death becomes realized. So it's like letting go of all these things that have darkened you, in a sense, in a negative level, or held you within your darkness. And darkness is not a bad thing. It just shows us within the darkness we keep, we protect our light, and then sometimes we stay there. So all Scorpio is saying is that if something stays in the depths, it cannot be seen. It cannot be understood. So we rise that stuff, that trauma, those issues, those problems, those hurts, those pains, the traumas, we rise them to the surface. When they're on the surface, then we can start using some of our air energy, our mind energy, to start understanding this. When we start clearing it up, then that frees up our will to start penetrating our power. Then you have that beautiful union between the male female within the individual, and your gifts or what your intention is will start to be manifest, but it cannot manifest in muddy waters. So yeah, to sum it all out, this time is about self-realization. Once you start realizing who you are, on the backdrop of your self-worth, then you start taking actions, yeah, which are in relation to what your self-worth is, as opposed to the impressions of how other people see you. So in this moment, this is what it's about. Dig deep. Don't be afraid to dig deep. See your vulnerable side. See your infallible side. See the sides of you that are not on point. We're here to plug the holes, and we can't plug the holes if we don't see the holes. So it doesn't define who we are. We are limitless in what we can create and do. We're only limited by our own perception. So it's literally a change perception the way your destiny lies. Like, to put it that way. So yeah, that is me, Asar Furian, signing off. Bid y'all all yeah, just a peaceful rest of November. To be honest, Scorpio season it's a lot. It's a powerful energy. It's a transformative energy, and I would say make use of it. Okay, love.